Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to another monthly wrap up. This time we're going to talk about the books that I read in May. So if you're new here, I like to share the books that I'm reading, what I read, all the wrap ups, all the things. So if you like this type of video, keep on watching. Your girl just got back from Black Romance Book Fest. Still have a lot of content to share and things to post. So if you follow me on the gram, you can check over there for some of the content, or on the clock app, you can check that out. I still need to go through like a bunch of bags behind me, so don't mind the mess. This is my first like day off since coming back from the festival, so we're a little bit behind this month. Today is technically June 5th, and I just got done setting up my reading trackers and planners for the month. So, yeah, we're slowly getting back on track. But one of the last things I need to do before I move on is to talk about the books that I read in May. So, if you watch my April's wrap up, I talked about Ledge. He was one half of the Domino twins from Grey Huffington universe. So I started reading Law like the last day of April, but I didn't get done with it until like the 1st or 2nd of May. So I decided to add it to this wrap up. Law was the more unserious brother. Ledge was more head on his shoulder, more level headed, more just oh sweet, all the things. But Law was more on the little bit of jokester, a little bit more unhinged, a little bit more my way. I want it this way. Not really into like a serious relationship. He's kind of like on and off with his, the girl he mess with. Uh, and that is until at a he runs into Clue at an exotic nightclub. She is all about her money. She is very independent, very like, just very secure in who she is. And Law is instantly like captivated by her, and he's like, I need to spend time with her. Like, I need to talk to her. And she's like, if you ain't paying, we ain't talking, okay? They had like a one night situation, but then they run into each other months later and they just still feel connected. She's trying to fight it. He's like, hold up, this is a sign. Like, we run into each other again. This is a sign. So I get to see them navigate trying to have something. And then, of course, their past always gets in the way. Love this book. I was laughing out loud. There were times when Law did things that I was like, did he just? Yeah. I had a good time. I enjoyed both twins. They were so different, but Law was just something else. Okay. So after I got that done, I was like, okay, I finally need to read Beautiful Broken Love by Shonora Williams. I've been putting off reading this book since um February. I think I bought this book back in January. It's pretty, it's pink, and I was like, oh, Valentine's Day. And then I heard about how deep like the story was, and I just kept putting it off because it has grief. You can tell by from the what do you call that? Synopsis or the little blurb on the back of the book. It tells you that the female main character lost her husband some months ago, and now she's navigating that grief as well as having feelings for the MMC. So this story follows, oh, I can't remember their name. Is it Deke? Deke and I can't think of his name right now, but the male character, he's a basketball player and he's collaborating with this skincare brand where the FMC, she's the owner of the skincare brand. So the moment he laid eyes on her to like talk about their collab, he was instantly like, ooh, captivated a little bit. But he knew there was more to her, so he wanted to kind of feel her out. And she was still like wearing her wedding ring. So of course he's like, wait, is she married? Is she not? Like trying to navigate that. And of course she's feeling guilty for having these feelings that she's feeling. When I tell you, I did immersive reading with this book, so I was listening to the audiobook, and whenever I had time to like sit down, I would just follow along on my Kindle. These narrators did such a good job with this story. I didn't actually cry, but when they got to the point where she was talking about losing her husband, I am telling you, that was deep. But once they got into like their relationship and the spice, the intimacy, I was like, whoa, I did not know this book was gonna get spicy, get hot. Like I did not expect that. Like I knew it was a romance story, of course. But yeah, they got down. They got down. It was just a all around beautiful love story. Her being a business owner, her dealing with the grief and like her husband's family, her friendships, him dealing with stuff from his past as well, his family, his relationships in his life and how they affect him trying to be in a relationship, his career, just everything. It's just a all around beautiful romance story. So if you're like me and been putting off this book for a long time, don't do it any longer. Go ahead and read it. You will have up and down emotions, tears, teary eye, cry, laugh. You're gonna get all the feels. After that, I dived into Danielle Brooks' catalog because I had an arc. um, I had an advanced copy of Rings, but she suggested reading these other books before Rings, before you read Rings. So I was like, oh Lord, now I have to read all these other books before I dive into Rings. So it starts with Just Kicking It, which is a Valentine's Day novella. I actually own the physical. Um, I actually own the physical copy of Just Kicking It. I bought this back in January from her as well. This was good. This was really, really good. It's straight to the point. You know, these short books are just like a little taste. You get a little taste. So that's pretty much what you got. You got a little taste of Desney and Damien. They've been friends since like childhood, pretty young, teenagers. They grew up together. They've never crossed that line. At one point, Desney did have like a little crush on him, but they've been homies. They've literally been homies for years. They're single on Valentine's Day. He's like, "What you doing?" And she's like, "Nothing. I'm just gonna go home." And he's like, Get dressed up. We're going out." So they go out for Valentine's Day. He's like in a on and off relationship. So at this point, he's on the off side of that relationship with this other person. So yeah, they go out, they have dinner, they get to talking, and next thing you know, they're confessing how they felt about each other, and they have like a one night situation where they're like, okay, one night only. That's it. That's it. And we already know, is it ever just that? Is it ever going to just be enough for one night? So the book ends, they had their one night, they go about their separate ways, and that's it for this. Then you get into Kenderella. Kenderella is a separate story, but the FMC in Kenderella, which, why do I suck at names? I suck at names. But the female character in Kenderella is friends with Desney and Damien as well. She is kind of piggyback a little bit off of Just Kicking It, because in Just Kicking It, what's her name? I can't. Hold on. Kennedy. Okay. So Kennedy is friends with both Desney and Damien, and it all starts with the same Valentine's Day. So Kennedy's supposed to go on this date. She's seen a guy. He's supposed to take her out to this Valentine's love, like a love ball. Was that what it was called? Like a governor's ball, like a Valentine's governor's ball. And at the last minute, that male canceled on Kennedy. She's already literally in the parking lot of the convention center or whatever they were having the ball at. So at that point, she's pissed off. She's like, what the hell? And then the male, the governor, is he governor at this point, or is he like the mayor? He's a mayor. Oh God, I feel like I'm all over the place. But anyway, the MMC is a mayor of that town that they live in, and he's the one that helped to put on this Valentine's Day event, because the people that live there, including Kennedy, wanted more, like, they wanted more activities and events. So he puts on this Valentine's Day event. She's outside, her foot gets like stuck, her shoe gets like stuck in between the rocks, and he's the one to kind of help her. And he's like, "Hey, are you going inside?" She's like, "Well, I got stood up." And he's like, "You know what? Just be my date. Just be my date. Let's go." Not really date, but he's like, "You're with me. Just come with me and we're gonna enjoy the night." Well, after they spend that event together, he's like, "Actually, I don't want the night to end. I'm about to fly to DC. If you want to hop on the jet with me and come with me to DC." And that's how they started instantly that physical attraction was there. Kennedy, I've always not liked like politicians. She don't care for them. So she's very skeptical, like all politicians are the same. And he's like, "Why do you feel that way?" So you get to see them navigate a little bit of that night together. But then after that, the MMC Jameson, he's always in the public eye. He wants to run for governor, but they're like, "Hey, every day you're with someone new." Like he doesn't like to be attached to someone, so he's kind of like, doesn't want to be in a relationship. So every now and then he's pictured with a different female in the blogs, and they're like, "We need to clean that up before you become governor." So they wanted him to like find a female that, even if it's just like fake dating, but that way they can see like he's always with this one person all the time. And he's like, "Actually, if I'm gonna do that, can I pick the person that I want to do that with?" And so he picks Kennedy. And you get to see them navigate trying to fake date, but at the same time that physical attraction was already there. And next thing you know, that physical attraction turns into something more emotional. I love that the author made it where at one point in their relationship, they're like, "Actually, let's pause the physical and see what is there emotionally. Let's try to get to know each other if we're really going to do this." And yeah, it just goes on from there. I loved it. That was my first like politician fake dating book. Really, really loved it a lot. Next up, I read Friendsgiving with the Belafontes. So after Cinderella, they're now in a relationship. It's been months later, and now Thanksgiving comes around, and they're all getting together for Thanksgiving. So Desney and Damien from this book, Kennedy and Jameson from Cinderella, and then their two friends. Jameson's like political right hand man, like what is he, like campaign manager? I forgot his name. Um, Let me find their names real quick. This is bad. Um, Blair and what's his name? Blair and what is the other guy's name? Anyways, so yeah, you get these six friends. Well, at this point, Desney is pretty much in a relationship. Damien is back with his on and off again girlfriend. Blair is attracted a little bit to the campaign manager, and then you have Jameson and Kennedy. So you have all these complex relationships. You get to different point of views, and you get them leading up to like going to the house for Thanksgiving dinner. So maybe a day or so before, and then everything that happens Thanksgiving weekend. And let me tell you, the ending to Friendsgiving with the Belafontes was the perfect setup for Rings. And the best thing about it, I already had Rings ready to read, so I didn't have to wait. I don't understand the people who read Friendsgiving with the Belafontes months ago and had to wait for Rings, because that bombshell at the end, baby, baby, that was so good. So I went straight into Rings after reading Friendsgiving with the Belafontes. Rings is a very messy friends to lovers. So again, you're back to Desney and Damien. They're in their relationships. You get to see what happened Thanksgiving weekend. He picks up right there. And now it's been like a couple months later. So much had happened. Feelings get involved. People get hurt. There's a lot. There's a lot that goes on, but there's a happily ever after at the end of it. And that's all I'm going to say. Loved it, enjoyed it. I would definitely recommend you read these four books like back to back to back to back. After I got done with Rings, I was like, okay, let me get into a short read. I read Velvet Secrets by T. Lynn. T. Lynn is one of the authors that I've read. She had these three sister series called the Armani Sisters. I read all three. So when I saw she dropped a new book, instantly I'm like, I want to read it. It's another little taster. So it's a very short book. I think it was only like 40 something pages. You get introduced to the male character Tyreek, aka Sin, and a female named Avani. T-Lid already announced that there will be a full book for these two, but you get to kind of see how they meet. So Tyreek, you can tell he's a boss. He has businesses, probably some legal, some illegal. Something happened, someone crossed him, and he's like, you got to pay up. And the guy was like, you can have this lounge that I own and you can do whatever you want to do with it, except that I currently rent it out to a female. And he's like, oh, I'm going to go see what this lounge is about. So he shows up to the lounge. He sees Avani. He's instantly captivated by her. She gives him a tour of the lounge. She's the type of person who's like, I don't cross certain lines. Like, I run this lounge, it's a exotic lounge. And she's like, I don't really get involved unless it's on my terms. And he's like, is it? At this point, she doesn't even know that he's now her new landlord. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how they go from there once she finds out that he's the landlord, and what that relationship is gonna be like once the full book comes out. But yeah, it was cute, but I wanted more, and I think I will get that when the full book comes out. Next up was Hear My Heart by Tay Monet. This is my first read by Tay Monet. One thing about Tay Monet, those book covers or the book pages, everything about her books is just very aesthetic, very cute. It makes you want to read it. And when Hear My Heart came out, it was no different. It looked cute. Everyone was talking about it. I'm like, I want to read it. This is my first book that I've read where the female has a hearing disorder. So she's pretty much deaf, but if she wears her hearing aids, she can hear, she can read lips. There's times when she doesn't really like wearing them, so she likes like that silence, so she'll take them out. She's in a relationship with this guy who's set to take over like his family's business. He's very dismissive, not very attentive. She's just there. She's literally just arm candy for him, okay? His parents are the same way. They don't really they don't really care about her either. She's just literally, like I said, she's just there. So something happens to that guy that she was talking to. I mean, at that point, she's engaged. So something happens to her fiance, and the brother comes home. And the brother, so it's a little bit forbidden because it's the brother of the fiance, and they form this beautiful friendship. And the female character, she's more like finally seeing, the female character gets to finally see how she should be treated. And of course, the male character, he's like, you're not getting treated the way you should be treated. So they formed this friendship, which blossomed into a love story. A little bit of forbidden, but I feel like it's like he wasn't treating her right. He did not deserve her. So I love seeing this girl getting loved on. Loved her name. Her name was like Nakaira. I loved it. But this guy learned sign language. He learned sign language so he could communicate with her. It doesn't get any better than that. Okay. Next up after that, I kind of messed up the order a little bit, but I read Can't Get Enough by Kennedy Ryan, one of the most anticipated Black romance book of 2025, and it did not disappoint. Again, I did immersive reading with this one, so I was listening to the audiobook and following along. It took me 2 days to read this, I think 2.5 days. I did not do anything else while I was reading this book. I was 100% just locked in. All the emotions, you're gonna get teary-eyed, you're gonna cry, you're gonna laugh, you're gonna feel all the feels. Just a MMC, a male character that will move heaven and earth for the female. Literally, he would do anything to make Hendrix's life easier. Yes, he was a billionaire, but honestly, you don't have to have money to do that. It's the little things. It's the little things that the person does that can make a world of difference. So yeah, I was locked in. This book was a 5-star read for me. Loved it. Sad to see the Skyland series come to an end, but yeah, beautiful writing by Kennedy Ryan. I was able to I was able to meet Kennedy Ryan at Black Romance Book Fest and also get this book signed. So yay me. After that, I read a bunch of shorter reads. So I read, I need to add some of them in here. I'm actually missing some of them. But after Can't Get Enough was when I read Velvet Secrets. Then I read Group Trip by Aria Days. That's the first book I'm reading by that author. Again, another short read. It's an erotica. So you know what you're going to get. Multiple people participating in activities. Okay? If you know, you know. That's all I'm going to say about it. If you're open minded to reading that, read it. Because I was laughing. I couldn't take them seriously. I was literally laughing. But it was good. It was a fun, cute read to read after reading something as heavy as Can't Get Enough. After that, I read. A couple days later, I had to come home sick from work, and I actually read 2 books in one day. So I read Luxury Experiences by Danielle Allen. This was a friends to lovers story. It was another one of those where the male is a movie star. He's always in the spotlight, always in the blogs with the woman he's involved with, Playboy, and his team wants him to clean up his act, and they're like, just get somebody who you can kind of get some pictures with, go to a couple events with, to clean up your image. And he's like, you know what, if there's anybody I trust to do this with, it's my best friend, so I'm just gonna ask her to fly in for a little bit and do a couple of those things. And yeah, that quickly went from friends to lovers. Next up was 5 Dates by Alexandria House. This is my first read by the author, but I cannot wait to get into her other books. This one as well had me laughing out loud, giggling, just feeling good. This one is the female. She is like, I'm over men. I'm done. I'm done with dating. I just cannot. These men are trash, okay? And she meets this guy at this like speakeasy little event that she went to. And he's like, let me get your number. She never called him. And then what happened? How did they run into each other again? Something happened. She finally texts him, and she's telling him like, look, I am over this dating stuff. And he's like, give me 5 dates to show you that I'm not like the men you're used to. But the thing about it was each date started off weird. Like each date was just way different from anything she would have imagined. And even it was funny to get like her inner dialogue, inner thoughts as she's going through these dates, and they were so funny. I was laughing. But she stuck to each date. As each date progressed, she was learning so much about him. He was still so sweet, so caring, so considerate. So even though the dates were like weird and awkward, she was learning about him. And each date just got less weird, but the first like 2 or 3 dates was just like wild. I couldn't even imagine me going on a date like that. I probably would not have made it through the whole date. But that was so cute and so good. I enjoyed it. I did start an arc of Summer's Echo, but I have not finished that, so I'm going to finish that up over the next few days. Then I was going to Vegas and needed something to listen to while I drive, so I picked a new audiobook, and this was Let Me Love You by Alexandria House. I have heard so much about the McLean brothers, and I had this book sitting in my Kindle for like over a month thinking I'm going to read it. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to read it, and I'm going to do immersive reading. I'm going to listen to it and read it at the same time. So I listened to it all the way to Vegas, all the way back. And then the rest of the time, I just kind of will sit down and follow along. This was another book that had me blushing, laughing out loud, cracking up. It's so many funny moments, from the way they met to other things that happened. Their relationship, it was just so funny, like the little things that he did. Like, he's a rapper, she's like an apprentice for jewelry, so that's kind of how they met. But beyond the rapper lifestyle, he was just the sweetest, caring guy. There was this one point in the book where they were gonna go to like a benefit or something, and she was getting a dress made, and he was like, when he saw the way she looked in the dress, he was like, how much do I need to pay to make sure like she's the only one to ever wear this dress? That man dropped like $20,000 on a dress to make sure she was the only one ever seen in it. Okay, like the dress was already like a limited amount made by the stylist, and he was like, I'll pay for all that, so she'll be the only one to wear it. Okay, good. That was really good. I want to read book 2 in June of the McLean brothers. Next up, me and my sister started buddy reading Capri. So I was able to finish Capri 1, 1.5, and started 2. I don't think I finished 2 until I was in Atlanta, I think. Let me see. Let's see. 1.2. Yeah, I finished book 2 before I went to Atlanta. And then I finished 2.5 on my way back from Atlanta. So Capri, let me just say, it's Jaquel's world, and we're living in it. She is writing these books like she says it literally in the front of the book. She pictures this as a movie slash TV series. Just think of it as, if you're someone who watch shows like Power, then you still get a little bit, you still get the love story, but we're here for the plot, the drama, the plot twist, the cliffhangers. Yeah. The only thing I will say about Capri is that I wanted more of her in action on the highways, putting people down. I wanted more of that. That is the only like notes I will say. But again, Jaquel is writing these books the way she wants to write them. So I'm not going to say write it this way, do it this way. I'm just going to say I wanted more of her being just badass. Like, I don't know what to say. But I think that wraps up everything that I read for May. Overall, it says I read and finished 16 books. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Yes. So overall, I finished 16 books. Didn't finish the arc. Need to finish that because it comes out in June. 8 of those were full novels. The rest, couple of them were novellas. Enjoyed it. Really good reading month. Even though I was busy with getting ready for Black Romance Book Fest, I still think overall it was a really good reading month. I was able to read every day and maintain my reading streak, so I cannot like complain about that. So I am set up for June. In terms of my June TBR, I'm hoping to finish a couple series that I'm reading. I just want to get back to a couple books that like series that I've started. Couple things real fast. Plus Size Player comes out on June 10th. So I will be reading that. What day is that? What day is the 10th? The 10th is on Tuesday, which is perfect because when I get off work on Tuesday, I am off Wednesday. So I plan to read Plus Size Player as soon as it drops. A Blossom dropped a new book on May 29th. It's called Unexpected Pass. I'm actually going to start that tonight once I get done with all this content stuff. I want to read 7 Days in June by Tia Williams because it's June. It's one of those books that is like a staple in Black romance that everybody pretty much loves and recommend. So I just feel like June is the perfect month for me to read that. So I'm probably going to read that after I read Plus Size Player later down in the week next week. The Divorcetant is a book by Mia Heiselman. She is a Black author that is based in Vegas. So I'm already like drawn to her. Like, I have an author near me. I met her at Black Romance Book Fest. I was able to get an advanced copy of this book. I think it comes out June in the 20s. So I want to read that maybe a couple days before it comes out so I can have my review. So I'm excited to read that as well. I'm guessing the female, this is like life after divorce. So I'm excited to read that. Uncovering Love by M. Monique is the first book in this like summer series that she has that I kind of want to get through this summer. So this is book one, so I want to read that. Lauren Lacey, she was like the organizer for Black Romance Book Fest. I really want to get into her books. The Love Syllabus came out a couple days, sometime in May, and I pre-order it, and it's on my Kindle, so I want to read it. And then the last book on my TBR, which I don't know if I'll get to, but it's L. Casson's Reels Love. Again, L. Casson is the author for Demon's Dream. I want to support, I want to read. So that is on the TBR. What else I had? I feel like I had something else on the TBR. But those are the main things I hope to read for June. Continue reading every single day, doing some reviews, all the things. So yeah, I'm excited for June. It's still probably not going to be a perfect month for me, but July might be a little better, but we're going to push through and get through these books. So yeah, that is it for this video. I hope you guys enjoy my May reading wrap up. Let me know down below if you've been reading, what you've been reading, how many books you read, all the things. Let's talk about it in the comments if you've read any of these books. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, y'all.